Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to the real reason they tried to assassinate Donald Trump. This is from a channel that I watch on my own. I've watched him for a long time. I think he's quite unbiased, so with this I don't know how he'll sort of go with it. I mean, based off the title, it's like, oh, he's maybe saying that there's like a conspiracy behind why they're trying to assassinate Trump, which maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. I mean, I'm just a random Brit who just sees things on Twitter like a lot of other people. But I feel like he's quite unbiased. And I mean, yeah, I just don't know with this sort of topic. I don't know what I can react to because it's a lot of news channels posting. And now that I've had three strikes, I think now I've avoided it. But I'm now just wanting to be more careful with reacting to certain channels because news channels, I mean, at the end of the day, they could probably choose and decide whenever they want to give you a strike because, I mean, it's a news channel. Although maybe there's laws behind it, I don't know, because I guess they don't own the actual video of Trump being shot and the stuff like that. But I don't know the ins and outs of it, so I've just thought I'll react to a channel that I personally watch quite a lot. And I mean, this is going to definitely piss off a lot of people. I mean, I've posted on my community tab, and I've just got to say, with the US elections, I'm not fussed who wins. I'm not someone who is a very political person. I've not voted in the UK before. I was going to vote this year, but I went on holiday and I didn't have the time to vote because I was away when the vote happened. But yeah, I'm not really a political person. I'm just here for the fun, you know. But I saw this picture. It was a pretty cool picture, especially after being shot. And I guess the possibilities of even being shot after you've already been shot are there as well. But the comments, man, they were unreal. People supporting him, people hating him, like saying they wish he was shot. We were a centimetre from greatness, or just stuff like that. Just people just being people on the internet. And you know what? People can do what they want to do. I'm not here to judge what anyone has to say, although I'm not going to say someone should be killed, let's be real. But people are touchy on the subject. And I saw it from this post. I mean, yeah, people were letting their thoughts be known, which, you know what, that's how it is. I know it's a very controversial situation just when it comes to US politics. But yeah, I'm doing a long ass intro. I'm posting this onto my Patreon for now. I think when I'm doing this reaction tomorrow, so the day after, my YouTube should be sorted. So I'm hoping this video can be posted pretty soon because this is a current topic. If I was able to post them onto my YouTube when this happened, I would have been posting straight after because this is like crazy. Like when I first saw this, I was like, wait, what the hell? This is madness. Like the US is just different. I mean, I said here, right? In all seriousness, there's nowhere else on earth like the US. Like, I mean, I know other countries there are like presidents that are assassinated and stuff, but in a Western country with this stuff, these things happening, it's wild. And now it's been a few days since this happened, so it's probably not as hot of a topic as it was before. But it's still crazy, and I'm interested by this video because I guess it will go into the details of maybe why they're trying to do it. Obviously, it's election season soon. I think all this will do for Trump is just bolster his hopes of becoming the president again. Because if you come in like that, getting shot, and then you're getting back up, and just the image itself, I'm sure that's going to gain him a few million people just voting for him. Yeah, I just feel like something like that would be crazy. I mean, in the UK, say Keir Starmer or just anyone else who's competing was shot and then they get up. It's just, yeah, you're going to assume that's probably going to help, if anything, like with the way they respond and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, we're going to get into this. I'm just rambling at this point. It's quite a long video as well. Again, I'm probably just going to let say before, this might offend you. I don't actually know what to expect from this video. This guy has got quite a loud mouth. Again, I enjoy his videos myself because he just posts random news stories. But maybe he'll say certain things that you don't like. I'm just here to watch it, right? So don't hate me. Click off if you're not, like, if you're gonna get triggered or whatever. And if not, let's just check this out. And I guess for me personally, see what's really going on. Because obviously I've seen the footage, but maybe the stuff around it. And then for you, just to, I guess, enjoy this reaction or not enjoy it. Let's just jump into this.
Welcome back to the True Geordie YouTube channel. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And Donald Trump has been shot at a rally in Pennsylvania. What the hell is going on? This is the biggest news of the year. Trump was at his podium, giving a speech as he always does, and a man about 150 yards away apparently is perched up on a rooftop, fires at him multiple shots, maybe 8 to 10 shots with a rifle.
Shots?
And you see Donald Trump hold his ear as you can hear the pops going off, hits the deck, and the crowd are screaming, everyone's panicked. The Secret Service dives on top of him, they take the gunman out. Donald Trump gets back to his feet. And
I've seen the Secret Service jumping on him. I mean, I've seen people say they've not reacted quick enough and stuff. I've not really looked into it, so maybe we'll see here, but yeah, I mean, I've also seen like things of like he tilted his head just at the right time, because I think he like made a sort of a movement, and if he didn't make that movement, the bullets would have hit his brain or whatever. Don't know how true that is, but based off it hitting his ear and seeing the movement, it makes sense that that movement possibly saved his life. But 8 to 10 shots, I didn't realize it was that many. I mean, I guess it does make sense, but flipping out.
Thinking they're just going to run him out of there and get him out there as quick as possible. But no, this man stands and puts his hand in the air and says, fight, fight, fight. And wow, I'm not a Trump fan or whatever the hell you would be, like a supporter of the right wing or left wing for that matter. I don't do any of that shit. But my God, that was badass. That was entertaining. That was cinema. It almost makes it feel like a movie. It makes it feel like it's not real, but it was very real. When he turned to the side, blood pouring out of his ear, that was very real. And again, before anyone thinks I'm conservative just because I'm mesmerized by the bloody insanity that I've just watched, I don't care about liberals, conservatives. I've had them both in power in my country my whole life, and they've both fucked the working man. I have no faith in either side. All I will judge in this video is people like Trump and Biden for their character, for who they are. And Donald Trump in that moment showed he's a bit of a badass. The man was shot. He knew that, and he's giving it that. It's a big fuck you to whoever shot him, even though they're dead. Like,
mate, when I saw this,
he holds his ear immediately. He knows. The Secret Service dived on him. They did their job in that moment, but there was a lot left to be desired when you look at the whole operation of what went down that day. Shocking from them. There we go. Donald's up. He's up. He's up. And you see he's covered in blood around the ear, across his face. By the way, the American people, I love you, right? Because anyone else in this scenario gets the fuck out of there. You lot stay and clap him as he's getting back to his feet. You do know there was a shooter there. They don't give a fuck. Yeah! That's my president. Damn right, boy. Look at that. Fist pump. Fight. Fight. I can't lie. It's very leader-like, you know? The man just took a bullet to the ear, got back up and shouted, fight, with his fist in the air. He didn't run like a coward, like a smart person. I mean, this man is what, 80? He just became immortal. What the right wing have looked at him as a bit of a martyr, as a bit of a leader of free speech and all of these other things, of challenging the system. Whether or not that's true, the images that we're seeing right now is going to conjure up so much emotion in his supporters. Even if Biden was a half-decent leader, which he is pathetic, let's be honest, we'll get onto that. You just won the election. And not only did you just win the election, you just became a fucking icon. And I'm not even saying he deserves all that in terms of who he is as a person, but imagery does a lot to people, and it's how they're going to feel. Even if you're super left-leaning and you don't like the guy, you don't like his policies, whatever, that's cool, don't blame you. But I think most people deep down will watch that and go, fuck me, fair enough, like, got my respect. Joe Biden can't even get up the stairs without going down. This man got up after a bullet. What is he, Bruce Willis in Die Hard?
Thing is, I'll probably say I'm more left than I am right. Like, my family are all left. I'm not very strong with my political views in like extreme ways, but I would say I lean more left than right. But like Biden, like I just feel bad for him. Like, what was the thing of him and was it Zelensky? And he called him Putin. I was like, oh God, it's just a long day for you. He shouldn't be in charge of the most powerful country with all this pressure. Just chill and I guess just live the rest of your life. I don't know. Watching the birds fly and stuff like that. That's how I would want to be, man. Not with the most stressful job in the world. Like it's just like when you compare the two, like they're a similar age, but when you actually like see it, it's like they do not seem like they're 5 years apart, or maybe even less than that. And it's not even me saying that I hate Biden, because I don't have strong feelings towards him at all. I just feel quite bad for him.
This is ridiculous. USA. I even am getting it. And naturally, these people are going to feel like this is an attack on their guy, on their freedom to support whoever they want. Because it feels like Biden was doing such a horrific job in the debates, in his own speeches,
I haven't seen
that Trump was going to beat him easily. So the only way you can get rid of this guy is to get rid of him, you know? And someone may have had that thought, maybe this is bigger than that, maybe this is government level agency shit, I don't know. But I can't help feel that this is connected to the fact that Trump destroyed Joe Biden in that debate, and he didn't even have to try. Joe Biden was barely even in the room. So he has a pic of the wound, and as you can see, that's no joke. That's millimeters from a certain death. This was not a scare tactic. This was, let's blow his fucking head off. And here is a pic of the iconic photograph of Trump raising his fist in the air, bullet wound and all, and just so happens that the American flag is perfectly positioned. This is iconic. I don't care what your feelings are about America, about Trump or whatever. Just to look at this, it's an iconic image. And people are giving Trump a lot of credit for the way he took that bullet. But to be fair to Joe Biden, if that had happened to him, he wouldn't have even flinched. It's because he wouldn't have known what the fuck was happening to him. But give him the credit, the contrast between Trump and Biden was already stark in the fact that Trump can actually finish his fucking sentences. But the fact that he's now over here looking like an action hero, God knows what the campaign team for Joe Biden are feeling right now. They might as well just put their feet up. It's over. And for anyone who's saying in the comments, it's fake, it wasn't real, it was staged. We've literally got a photograph of the bullet after it has hit Trump in the ear, I think whizzing past his head. Or that might have been the second one. You know, this stage theory is actually really big, ironically. And I'm just wondering, like, where the logic is in it, because if you're the gunman who's signing up to be a part of this, not really sure, you're like, you know what would really sell it? If we killed you afterwards. And he's like, yeah, seems legit that would be great. I think that's the way to go. Or if you're Donald Trump and signing up for it and it's like, yeah, sure, just take a shot in my ear. I mean, what could go wrong? Do you know what I mean? It's only millimeters away from my brain. I'm just not sure that's a reliable plan. And it's funny because all of these people who were saying it was staged, it was fake, are the same people who were cancelling Alex Jones for saying the same thing about Sandy Hook. So it's like, you sound just as crazy as him now. We've got photographs of the bullets whizzing past him. He was covered in blood. Oh, blood pellets. Yeah, fake. All fake. Like WE. You sound crazy. And I know for some people, this is seen as a great night for Donald Trump, even though something terrible happened to him. It's elevated his status quite clearly. So therefore, they don't want to acknowledge that it could be possibly real because they're so wedded to their belief system that no matter what they're saying, no matter what is happening, they will find a way to ignore logic to just only have the narrative that they need to be true. And luckily, when you don't believe in any political party, none of that makes a difference to you. So I don't give a shit. This was clearly a real shooting. And if you don't get that, I don't know what to tell you, man. Now, what is very clear is that the Secret Service, FBI, all of them guys could have stopped this way before it happened. So this here is where Donald Trump was on stage, and just over here is where the gunman was positioned on the rooftop. Now, I can remember as far back as when I was a kid watching, you know, presidents and even president movies about fictional presidents. When the FBI are about to do a big press conference, they comb the area for any possible locations, positions where it could put the president in danger. The nearest rooftop not even being looked at blows my mind. Bearing in mind that Trump is a very controversial candidate, and it's not like we've not seen presidents killed before, for Christ's sakes. And this fella has given an interview after the shooting took place saying he tried to alert the authorities to the shooter before it even happened.
So we're standing there, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, you know, 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
That is unbelievably incompetent. Now, interestingly, Elon Musk has raised the question, extreme incompetence or was it deliberate? Either way, the Secret Service leadership must resign. And I completely agree. Like, this is staggering. You've got some random dude saying, I pointed. For 3 minutes, I was telling them, not for a second, not for 10 seconds, for minutes. They had all the time in the world to put a stop to this well before it happened. There's this video also being released of one of the police snipers who, just before the shots ring out, he notices something. Maybe it was the other gunman, but he doesn't react.
I want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
Absolutely fucking useless, mate. If you're Donald Trump after this and you're watching all of these clips of people saying, we tried to tell them and they did nothing, not only are you feeling let down, but you're feeling betrayed. These are the people that you put your trust in to keep you alive. That's their job. That's their only job. And they failed in a big way because, let's be real, only by the grace of God is this man still alive today. Not for anything the FBI did, other than killing the guy afterwards. But come on, that's the bare minimum. And this video I found, it's actually even more shocking because it shows it wasn't just one guy who gave the interview noticed the guy had a gun. It was loads of people shouting it while Donald Trump is still talking.
What? Oh my days. Way before.
They're just people in the crowd. They're not paid and trained to save their president's life. They're just regular people like me and you. How on earth can this Secret Service look themselves in the mirror after such a pile of shit job they've done that day? Fucking sacked a lot of them at this rate. The guy was on a white rooftop. He's in dark clothes. You can't miss it. And this video has attracted a lot of banter because it shows Donald Trump being rushed into the car to safety, but it also shows some of the Secret Service agents and how they're behaving. And people have noticed that a couple of the women on the team look a little bit underprepared for the situation. This woman here is trying to get her gun out. She's reaching it somewhere. It's got to be. This guy's got his gun. Come on, get ready. We're all ready for. Can you get your? Oh, nearly. No, you're out. You're out. You're out. Okay, just in time. Just in time. Well done. You got there eventually. Better late than never. You can see she doesn't know what she's looking around. Can I get my gun out? She's all in a kerfuffle, as we would say. And here is a picture of this woman. And look, I'm not one to body shame or anything like that. But you know, for like the Secret Service and anything sort of like Army, FBI related, you think that they have to pass like a level of fitness test or whatever. I'm not sure I'd be confident in her passing anything like that right now. She has got a little bit of a muffin top around.
Come on, she's not that bad.
She does. I'm not lying. This isn't sexist. She's just got a bit of a belly on her. She looks like she's had a few kids. She does a school drop off. She enjoys comfort food of a night time watching her favourite TV show. She doesn't look like she should be having a gun standing in front of Donald Trump. If she was protecting me, I'd say put the gun down, love. Do you know what I mean? Go and make a sandwich. It's not meant as a sex thing. It's more just what she really looks like. There's some women out there, I've got no doubt, who'd be great in that job. She's not one of them. Now, it's ironic because the head of the Secret Service is a woman. And look, I'm sure she got her job on merit and not because she's a woman and all of that. But she has recently come out and explained her goals for the Secret Service.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030, and even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle Carey to train with agents.
Call me crazy, but if you'd spent less time training up YouTubers to be Secret Service agents for the day and more time preparing for assassination attempts, maybe you'd have been ready for this.
But I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women. Okay,
so she specifically said she wants diversity and more women. Do you know what I would want if my job was saving lives? People who are really good. I wouldn't care what background you came from. I'd care that you were good enough. Do you not think that should be the fucking priority, like? Because I know in this modern world we're in, people are trying to diversify and give equal opportunities to make sure that all groups of people are represented within their staff. But this isn't about looking good and having good numbers and all of that bullshit, to be honest with you. It's about saving lives. We haven't got time for this sort of bullshit in critical jobs like that. I was in a job that was very dangerous before I did YouTube, one of the most dangerous jobs, deep sea diving offshore. Now, if I was in a bad spot underwater, do you know who I'd want jumping in to save my life? Someone who can fucking do it. Not, oh, well, if someone's going to jump in, just make sure they're a woman, because I want to make sure they're fucking diversified enough. You stupid pricks. We're playing with people's lives here, and she's worrying about that shit. How about make sure your fucking officers are actually doing their jobs properly when plenty of people knew what was going on before your lot did. Oh, True Geordie's being sexist. I'm not actually. I'm actually saying do this on merit. Do you know what is sexist? Hiring people based on their gender and not because they're good enough. That's actually the sexist thing here. And the funny thing is, the only reason we could see Donald Trump with his fist in the air and his head out was because the person standing at the front was a short woman who wasn't tall enough to cover the shootable areas. Enough about that. Enough about that. I'm done. One thing that is very sad is that there was an innocent bystander.
Yeah, I've seen this, and I've seen. Was he I think he was a fireman. I think maybe I'm wrong with that, but just an innocent person losing their lives because you've got some deranged shooter. Like, it's just like, you don't go to a political rally or whatever you want to call it and expect to lose your life. Like, no matter what your political views are, say it was Biden and then someone there was lost his lives or her lives. It's the worst possible thing. That poor person just. You just wouldn't have any thought of that happening if you went to something like this, would you? So, I mean, I guess he's going to go into this, and I'm fascinated to, I guess, learn about him and, like, what happened, etc.
All of the gunfire who lost their life and another person injured. So condolences to their family, because they must be going through it. They were innocently just there at a rally, and before you know it, you're losing your life. What is America right now? This is crazy. And some people have suggested that Joe Biden is in some way responsible for this in the way he's been speaking about Donald Trump recently. Now, I'm not going to say I agree with that, but I do want to put it to you guys, because they've both played dirty with each other from day one. It's gone overboard. It's gone crazy. This is nothing like when Barack Obama went up against Romney and McCain, I believe it was, where he was respectful and they were respectful to each other throughout the whole thing. This is as low as it can go, and you'd hope that the whole of them.
I'm too young to remember that. How were there, like, sort of their, I guess, don't want to say arguments, their like when they were facing off with each other? He's saying it was a lot more civilized, I guess. I've not even seen the Trump and Biden stuff, so I can't really speak for it, but is it really that much more, like, hostile between the two?
America should get a bit of a wake-up call from this, and especially Joe Biden and Trump, and realize, fuck me, this has gone too far now. This is like when Biggie and Pat got killed and the whole of rap music went, whoa, right, let's just calm down. Joe Biden tweeted out last month, Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. Doesn't sound great now, does it? He's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy. He is literally a threat to everything America stands for. That's the sort of talk that kind of.
See, with that, is that like a two-way thing between the two? Do they both say these things to each other? I feel like, again, with these two, it's probably just they'll say that sort of stuff to each other. Obviously, I guess Trump's not on Twitter anymore, but when he was on Twitter, he would say whatever, man. But I can't really speak. I don't know, but they don't like each other. I guess that's just what we can get out for sure.
It does lean into the theories out there. Tweeted last week and since been deleted after the shooting, this one. I have one job, and that's to beat Trump. I'm certainly the best person to do that, so we're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye. Choose your words carefully. That wasn't great. That was bad. Americans want a president, not a dictator. Just insinuating that Trump is in any way a dictator. I mean, look, you can say he'd be a terrible president, all of those things. The man is trying to get elected. How can he be a dictator? Doesn't even make sense. Although it makes a lot more sense than half of the sentences Biden says, to be fair. And the reaction to the shooting has actually really showed how mental some people are out there.
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks.
I've seen this.
I hate Republicans. I hate Trump. And guess what? You got the wrong guy.
Yeah, I saw this. So he looks like someone who was involved in it. But then he posted this video.
And is like trying to take credit for it. You're just, what a weird little loser. What does your life become when you're taking credit for a shooting that you didn't do? Because we know that. They got the right guy. They killed him. And yet you want to be credited with that. Like, how bad is it, mate? And this young lady isn't happy either.
Somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew. And he missed!
A pew-pew?
We were a second away! We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed!
If you ever date this woman, just sleep with one eye open. I always see these things and I think, what's your life like? It must be horrendous. All that pours out in these crazy videos is the deep unhappiness that people have in their lives that they're expressing and projecting onto a topic that in no way affects them. The insanity is just pouring out.
Just got out of the movies, and for a split second, I thought Donald Trump had been assassinated, and I thought to myself, this is the best fucking day of my life. And then he wasn't, so it's the worst day of my life.
She's a lovely woman, isn't she? The best day of her life would have been if Donald Trump, a man she doesn't know, never met before, was shot and killed. Not only have you obviously not had very many happy days in your life, but you're clearly fucking psychopathic. It's another woman, I'm afraid. I didn't do this deliberately. This isn't an anti-woman video. I wasn't intending it to sound like that. I'm sorry. But they're all posting.
He should have spent a bit more time at the range.
This one gives me the creeps. I can't lie. It's giving Jeffrey Dahmer vibes. Yeah, she's going to chop us up into little bits. And also a woman called Dr. Karen Pinder. She's actually literally called Karen. That's not a joke. She's a real Karen. A University of British Columbia medical professor, someone with authority who's there to teach kids, has tweeted out, "Damn, so close, too bad, unreal." She actually deleted her account after that because obviously people were reporting her and notifying the university that, are you aware that you've got a fucking professor who's advocating for a shooter against a former president? That's not someone who should be teaching kids. Do you get what I mean? Some of the media coverage is also questionable at best.
After he was hit, former President Trump got up and said, "Fight, fight, fight." I think what we're hearing from people is that's not the message that we want to be sending right now.
CNN, a known left-wing media company, are saying that Donald Trump was out of order for, after being shot in the head, for saying fight, fight, fight. That's not the message we want to send.
Is that where the line's drawn? Fuck's sake.
Someone just tried to take his life away. Oh, inciting violence. He's just been shot. They put the violence on him. He's a victim. But that's the sort of level of delusion that people reach when they're so in bed with one political party that they can't ever say anything fair about the other side. That's one of the main problems with politics. It's the delusion when people support one side and they just can't see things for what they really are. Like, take this for example. They've been comparing Trump to Hitler. I've seen this all over the media. And then when he gets shot, they're saying violence is never the answer. We wish him a speedy recovery. Oh, do you now? Do you know how we had to take Hitler out? Violence, actually. So if you really think he's Hitler, why are you wishing him a speedy recovery? You don't think he's Hitler, do you? No. You just want to use that as your message to win the election. So you're all lying. And I get it. Both sides of the election will lie to win the election. But there's a point of overstepping the mark. And I think comparing someone to Hitler is sort of in that ballpark. And look, this guy, this shooter, could just be some deranged psychopath. But if you think that all of this messaging, and we have to stop him by any means, and he's like Hitler, and if you think that that plays no part in getting into a psychopath's mind to get him to do something crazy like this, I think I disagree with you. And the messaging for Trump has been extreme. The guy was president once before. He didn't act like Adolf Hitler, did he? You can say he's a shit president. I've got no problem with that. But there's just no accuracy in the messaging here.
And now, a word from our...
Oh, he's getting his money? Come on. I guess with this sort of topic, you're not getting any money from YouTube, so you're in the bag.
Now, enjoy the video.
Most importantly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, Trump is a threat to this nation.
There's Joe Biden saying it best. And why do I think this has happened? Well, I think it was quite obvious. Joe Biden was losing the next election. And maybe that guy out there was so anti-Trump, he just couldn't bear to see him win the next one. Providing he's not connected to a higher-up conspiracy, which is entirely possible. I mean, look, JFK was clearly shot by the government, so anything's fucking possible. But we're looking at that debate and imagining Joe Biden being president for the next 4 years when he can't even do it now. God only knows how much he's going to decline in 4 years. Look at how much he's declined in the last 5. This is a video from 2019 showing the difference between then and now.
I continue to think we have to make fundamental changes in civil rights. God. And those civil rights, by the way, include not just only African Americans, but the LGBT community.
Bro, he's talking like he's just talk. What the? Now he's so like slow when he talks. He's like slurs. Flipping hell.
He wants to get away with get rid of the ability of Medicare to for the ability to for the.
I did not oppose busing in America. What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education.
That is just 5 years ago, and the decline is huge. And he was already a bit fucking old then. He was making mistakes back then, 5 years ago. I remember it, thinking, how's he going to win? But even then, he's razor sharp.
Why wouldn't they change the leader that they want? Like, is there not, like, unless Biden's literally just saying, I'm not going to compete. Like, he's basically saying, I'm going to compete. But surely the party or whatever have the ability to just change to a new person, because, bro, that's crazy. I was assuming he was always like somewhat like spoke just a bit, maybe had like a speech impediment, his stutters or whatever it is. But looking at that, I mean, it's just a short clip. Maybe there's other clips from that time where he was maybe stumbling a bit more, or maybe he just genuinely has just over the last few years just deteriorated in whatever way. Like that is a crazy contrast.
Compared to now, he should be in an old people's home. That's not an exaggeration. And this is a clip taken from Biden being questioned about Donald Trump's accusations that he's not fit to be president because of how senile he is.
Right now, Donald Trump is using that to mock your age and your memory. How do you combat that criticism from tonight?
I've seen this one. Is this where he walks off?
Listen to him.
This concludes tonight's press conference.
Bottled it. Absolute bottle job. For Americans out there, that means he's a coward. He didn't even want to fucking defend himself. That's where we're at with this guy. He hasn't got a thing to say. Not only is he like losing his way in sentences, he's also just contradicting himself constantly.
Is Putin ready to talk? I'm not ready to talk to Putin. I'm prepared to talk to any leader who wants to talk, including if Putin called me and wanted to talk.
50 seconds apart, that was. This is shocking. I don't know how someone hasn't stepped in yet. God knows what his friends and family and all of them are watching as he's walking up to the podium. They're thinking, fucking hell, what is he going to say next? But they should be the ones stepping in. But it's a little bit like telling a fucking drunk driver not to drive. Do you know what I mean? Like, he can't be told because he's the president. He's in charge. And the level of confused he gets is really embarrassing. He recently called his vice president, who's a woman, by the way, Donald Trump.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
She is definitely qualified. Absolutely. Then he announces the head of Ukraine, Zelensky, as President Putin, who's the guy who Zelensky is currently in a war with.
Now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
At this point, though.
Oh, the cringe. But I say cringe, I actually just feel bad for him. Like, it's just crazy. Oh my days. You should not be a president and be like, I guess just like however he is, man. Like it's wild. And I assume he's drugged up to like, he's already drugged up to a point where they're trying to make him like be able to do these speeches and stuff. And that's just how he is when he's drugged up. I mean, I don't actually know how it works, but I'm thinking maybe they got him on speed, all this kind of stuff, you know. I'm joking with like the speed, but just some sort of drugs that give you more energy. It's not working, man. It's not working.
Like, where do you go? And do you know what's really, really sad? As I said to you earlier, like, people just deliberately ignoring what's right in front of their faces. There is loads of people, or I say on Twitter, defending Biden, saying, I'd rather have a brain-dead Biden over a Donald Trump. I'm like, come on, man. This is a job you need done, you know? He's a fucking vegetable. He should be dipping biscuits into a cup of tea with his fucking slippers on in an old people's home right now. The man's got the codes for nuclear bombs. Have you not seen The Sopranos? There's a bit in The Sopranos where his uncle gets exactly this kind of condition and ends up lashing out at people and like shooting people who are innocent because he's thinking he's back in his old days. What's going to happen with this guy?
Every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with.
It's the way Trump looks at him that gets me. It's actually sad. Like, human to human level, you just look at this little old man struggling his way through sentences and you're like, I feel sorry for you, mate. This guy brought a water gun to a fucking shootout, ironically. You can't do shit to Trump.
The total initiative relative to what we can do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end.
For fuck's sake.
End of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
You gotta give Trump something. He's fucking funny, right? And being funny is a real gift in terms of wanting to fucking run for election, right? Entertaining people. That's part of it. And after everything that's transpired in the last month, from that debate being an utter massacre and Donald Trump now surviving this shooting, this presidential race is done. My main worry as someone who doesn't have a lot of faith in politics to start with is what on earth direction are we moving in? Right now we've just had like a record low of people turning out to vote in the UK. No one believes, and this makes America look like a fucking insane asylum. The fact that one guy can't talk, one guy's just been shot, like, it's crazy. I think politics has never been in a worse place in my entire life, and with a literal skeleton as president, it's never been more obvious that we're watching a fucking puppet show. There's no way Biden's running shit. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I really
It's mad. It is crazy. I mean, look, I don't follow it like how a lot of you will follow this kind of stuff. But when you just see this footage, obviously this video was initially me reacting to the assassination attempt, which obviously is crazy. Like, that happening anywhere is ridiculous, but in the US, like in a Western country, it just is beyond belief. Like, when you think about it, and I'm trying to sort of compare it to this happening in the UK. If that happened, that would, like, I don't think it would ever happen, because guns obviously are a lot less, like, people owning guns here. It's a very low chance of it happening in the first place, you know. But it is wild. The US Secret Service is only good at wearing sunglasses. Those Secret Service women look like when kids play Fed agents in their friend's short film for their class project. I mean, maybe some people just hate Biden. I just feel bad for him. Like, he's just... I guess the power, maybe for him, if he genuinely is wanting to be the president for another 4 years, for him it's just the power. Like, the power of, maybe he's lived his whole life trying to be the president, or in some form been elected to politics with this being the goal. And now he's there. He's just like, you know what, no matter what, I want to be the president. But I just feel bad. Like, they should not be allowing someone who's obviously struggling physically and I guess mentally as well to be in charge of the most powerful country in the world, the most stressful job. Like, I just can't compute. Like, surely if they had another candidate, they'd have more of a chance. I just don't really understand where their thinking is, but the world is wild to me. I guess maybe the puppet thing is because they know Biden's not the one making the decisions. I'm assuming anyway. They control a lot of what actually happens. But if it was like maybe a leader who was a bit younger, or just someone who was just more there, they would sort of call the shots, and they wouldn't have as much of a control or an influence on what actually happens. That's probably it. I mean, I've probably just cracked the code, mate. I mean, I'm joking, but possibly that's the case. I mean, maybe that's what it's getting at, and I'm just very slow, and I've just sort of figured it out at the end. I guess that's the whole point of a puppet. But yeah, look, I'm just here to see about it. I'm not really feeling strong either way. I don't really care who wins. It's for some entertainment. I mean, when I say entertainment, I don't mean the shooting. I just mean more so just the things that are said to each other, the clips of Biden or Trump saying these things, with Biden stumbling, with Trump just saying these maybe just some sort of outrageous thing, or just his responses in a comical way. You know, it just makes for fun. But it's reached an extreme level, and I mean, yeah, just I guess let me know your thoughts on this, what you think, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, like, subscribe, and peace.